Welcome to Snap Speaking. I'm Luke D. Maxwell, and today we're going to dive into your topic. First of all, how to find a topic and how to properly introduce it. Finding your topic can be one of the hardest parts of writing a speech for some people. Some people like me, I already knew what I wanted to talk about. It was obvious from my circumstances and what my mission was. But for some people, you want to become a public speaker. You want to share your message, but you're not quite sure what your message is. You have some experiences, you're good at some stuff, but you're kind of like, I don't know what I should talk about. Should I talk about this or maybe this, but how do I relate this to anything meaningful? Or should I just go like pure motivational? But I don't want to just be pure motivational. I want to have some substance. I mean, if this is you, I understand. And then so I've helped some people find their topics in the past. And so that's what I want to do today is help you find yours. I've discovered a almost foolproof way to discover topics that are meaningful to you, that you know a lot about, and that can actually do some good. And this is the formula I use. We're gonna take, you gotta write this down, It doesn't really work in your head. So I want you to take a piece of paper or a whiteboard. I'm gonna show you how I do it in just a sec. Take a piece of paper and a whiteboard, and you're going to write down on one side. You're going to start off with skills. Okay, you're going to take skills. And then you're going to write down your top 5 skills, top 7 skills that you have. That you're stuff that you're just good at. Whether you like it or not, it's just stuff that you're just good at. Okay, then you're going to draw a line, then you're going to take another column, your passions. This is stuff that you're passionate about. Stuff that you really just are interested in learning about, that you love doing, that you just think about. And you're gonna write down those. They don't necessarily have to be stuff that you're good at or stuff that's like, huge and important. You could love looking at crickets. You could just love watching crickets. Hop it around. You could love doing that. Write it down. Don't be afraid. Then the next column, what we're gonna do is you're gonna write down what we call a market need or something that people need. For example, let's say people need to know if their coffee's hot or not. So you say, people need to know if their coffee's hot. That's kind of silly, right? But you could also go another step and say, some people don't have enough food, or some people have a hard time doing this, or especially if it's happened in your own life, it's really helpful for you because you already know something about it. We'll get into that, why that's so important. So write down just some stuff that you feel is most important to you that the world needs. So not necessarily the biggest things like, end of war. Yes, but what do you really feel strongly about? What do you think is the most important things in the world right now that we need fixing or that you know something about? And then you're gonna have another column. Now this is the column that I kind of introduced to this formula because this formula has been around. It's not my own, I didn't create it. But what was missing was this next column, and this is your challenges. Here's what I mean by that. We all go through stuff. We all have different stuff in our lives. It could be silly. It could be as silly as burning your mouth on that coffee, like I said. That's a challenge. You just constantly burn your mouth on coffee, and it's so annoying. That's a challenge. Or it could be something more severe. Maybe you were homeless. Or maybe you've encountered some kind of difficulty in your life. Any of the range, from big to small, write those down. Right? About 5 or 7. You don't want too much, and then just becomes overcrowded. So now you have all that written down. Now, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to take maybe the top ones and say, what can I connect to make a great speech? So I'm gonna show you how I did this and how if I was in your place, how I would find what I want to talk about. So this is what your whiteboard should look like. Your piece of paper is that, see, you have skills, you have passions, needs, and challenges. this is what you need to find your purpose. And then you just kind of go through it. Positive thinking. That is something I could definitely share in a speech. I'm gonna circle that. Communication. Well, to teach communication, yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that though. Something I'm pretty good at. Soccer, piano, playing the piano. This isn't just about adding stuff in you think that could pertain to a speech. It's adding everything in. Everything that's important, most of your top skills, and then seeing which ones might fit in a speech, because you might not know. Maybe you could add soccer as an analogy to whatever you want to talk about. Okay, but here's one-on-one talking. And then so talking with people one-on-one. I'm going to add this in because that's important. And I think that could pertain to a speech. And either helping me in giving my speech, helping me in preparing, or helping me after, or somehow, because I feel that could really help me. Psychology, definitely. Helping people, definitely. These are stuff I'm really passionate about. Interacting with teens, definitely. I want to circle all of these. So I circled my top 3. These are my top 3 passions. And I added 3 other passions that I'm also stuff that I love doing. I love writing. I love playing my piano. And I love anything to do with science fiction. Absolutely. But for this speech, I think I'm just going to stick to these. Maybe later I could do something about science fiction and mental health, which sounds really awesome, actually. That actually sounds pretty cool. I might do that one day. But anyway, so we're moving on. Needs. Support for teens with their challenges. Huge number 1 here. Huge number 1. Better school system. Oh, yes. Definitely. If you think that this country needs a better school system, I want to hear it in the comments. But I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think for where we're going with this, I don't think that's where we're going with this speech. So young people finding their purpose. I'm going to give this a little that. Because, yeah, I think that's important, but I don't know if I could fit it into this speech. That might have to be for another one. And then, of course, I added effortless shopping, because that's something the world needs. Am I right? World needs effortless shopping, but that doesn't really pertain. I don't think this would fit in the overall speech that we're going with. And then we come to challenges. This is stuff that you can talk about from the stage or not, or just use it as a backdrop to help you relate, to help you know what you're talking about, and just to help you really be extra passionate about it. Challenges and the passions tie very closely with each other. Challenges and major depressive disorder. A huge one. Definitely. And then so, this is getting a little personal, but this is what it's all about. Too much of a dreamer. What I mean by that is I'm constantly dreaming. I'm constantly thinking, oh, I could do this, or I could start this, or I could do this, I could move there. And it's too much. I need to focus, and that kind of ties in down here with staying focused. Is that once I get on a track and say, sometimes after a little bit of time, I think, okay, next thing. And so I've really been working on that and staying focused on one thing and one thing only. And then maybe adding something later. So I don't know if we're gonna really add this in. Again, maybe another speech, maybe another time. Staying focused, again, don't think I could add that in. Emotionally connect. What I mean by that is that I've always, not always, but I've had a hard time ever since major depressive disorder. I've had a hard time emotionally connecting with somebody. And so that's something that I had to learn, I had to overcome because of all the stuff that I went through. So not only are these challenges something you can talk about, but maybe something you need to overcome before you start all of this other stuff. Before you start writing your speech and promoting yourself as a speaker, you might need to overcome some stuff. So this is something that I definitely needed to overcome, something I did a pretty good job of, but also something that really ties in to my speech, which I think I'm forming here. So here's what I have. Okay, psychology, huge one, okay? Helping people. So I have a feeling that I want to help teens with their mental health challenges. That's what I'm getting here. Skills, I can use my positive thinking and my method of just naturally positive thinking to really be a source of inspiration for them. Okay, I like the way this is going. Obviously, I suffer from major depressive disorder, so I can really relate to these teens. Another one of my skills is that I was a teenager at the time that I started speaking. That was a skill. So I was able to relate to them because I was a teen. And I was talking to them as a teen about teen problems. That's gold right there. That's awesome. And then of course, we bring in one-on-one talking. After every single speech, if time permits, and time permits, I always stay behind and talk to every single person who wants to talk to me. I message back and forth with every single person who messages me. And then so, that might not be part of my speech, but it's definitely a selling point, so to speak, of my speech. Is that when I'm talking to these teens, I say, hey, you might think that I'm giving all this stuff, that I'm just up here spouting whatever. You come and talk to me. I'm here for you. And that proves to them that I am there for them in that moment. So what we have here is a speech to teens about their mental health challenges, so combining psychology with challenges, trying to help them with their challenges, helping them with their mental health challenges, and of course interacting with teens. Huge one of my passions. I love interacting with teens. They are awesome. They're some of the best people that I know, and then just the most fun to talk with, to help, to hang out with. I just absolutely love it. So all of this connects into one speech where I share my story of major depression to help other teens with their mental health challenges. And I'm staying afterwards to talk with them, every single one of them, to have the maximum impact. So you see how this is, but see, the thing is, this doesn't only have to apply to speeches. This can apply to your life. This can apply to just what do you want to do in life. Don't want to become a speaker? That's fine. But what do you want to do in life? What do you want to accomplish? This can help you do it. This right here is magic right here. Do this. Do it. Let me know how it turns out. So you see, by doing that, you can find your focus, and not only for a speech, but honestly just for life. If you're confused about what you want to do, where you want to go, what industry you want to be in, what do you want to create, who do you want to help, if you're confused about this little way of finding out, your future, this can really help you. And so that's how you discover your topic. Discover what you want to talk about and how to talk about it. What you want your audience to do as a result of your talk. But now comes actually delivering it. Delivering your topic should be short and sweet. For example, if you watch my last video, which you should be because these are all in sequential order and these kind of go off of each other, you should definitely watch number 1 and 2 and 3. So if you watch my last videos talking about the introduction, about hooking your audience. This is what comes next. So after you hook your audience, you say, this is what I'm going to talk about. But you don't say it like that. You don't say, okay, the story of these people, and now I'm going to talk to you about crickets. No one wants to hear anything like that. So to introduce your topic, what I want you to do, short and sweet, is simply this. So what I do to introduce my topic is simply this. I share my story, a little bit of my story. I'm trying to introduce my story. I have them be active, look around. And then I say, 1 in 4 teens are depressed. 1 in 12 are suicidal. Depression is not just a feeling, it's a disease that affects you and the people around you. And that is how I introduce my topic. People didn't know I'm going to talk about depression. I'm going to talk about suicide. I'm going to talk about mental illness. They know that just by that. See, it's very simple, very short. You don't want your introduction to go on forever. Nobody wants that. And do not go on and on and on about your topic. That's where the body is for. See, you're going to talk about your topic all throughout the rest of your speech. You don't want to do it right now in the introduction. You're just trying to grab their attention, let them know what's going to happen, and then you get into your actual talk and the meat of your talk. So you see how it works? Something short, something simple, but not saying Hi, I'm gonna talk about crickets now. Crickets are, you don't want to hear that. Even if it was delivered, let's say if it was delivered well. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about crickets. Crickets are this, which is more powerful? Telling a story and jumping off of the story, relating it to the audience and letting them know, or just stating what you're gonna say? I hope you know which one. So, always in speaking, it's always better to weave something through a narrative, through a story, through a statistic, than just saying it outright. Unless, of course, you can use sounding outright for effect, and we can get into that later. That's a much more specific topic. But for right now, I want you to keep in mind, find out your topic, you know how to do that now, and you also know how to properly deliver it. It's very simple, it's very short. And with the rest of the next 3 parts of the introduction are all very short, very simple, 1 or 2 sentences at most. Very simple. Hey, you can do this. You've got this. I believe in you. And if any of you want to become public speakers, email me. I have a bunch of just stuff for you that I've accumulated. I would love to help you out. And if you have given a speech, you want me to critique it, send it to me. I will critique it. I will. I'll give you my feedback, my honest opinion, because I want to help you share your message. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you to share your message. So that way, you can do what I do. And then you can inspire people to do what you do. And then see it continues on and on and on and on. Together, we can do so much. And imagine all we're doing is using our words. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're commenting with what you want me to talk about when it comes to communication, whether it's verbal, non-verbal, or something else entirely. Make sure you're subscribing and hitting that bell, because every single Saturday I'm dropping more value bombs here on Snap Speaking. Be unashamed, stay unashamed.